Hello, it's Gabby here for you. Before we jump onto this week's podcast, I just want to let you know about 2 ways that you can work with me. First of all, I do one-to-one coaching and I do that via Zoom, so we can jump on a Zoom call at a time to suit you. The second thing I've got for you is an online coaching course that's 12 modules that you can download straight away now. There will be a link somewhere around these podcast notes. And this is the course that I've designed, and it's got everything in it that I wish I'd have known when I finished cancer treatment and I was lost. So you can download that course now and you can start working towards making this your happiest and healthiest year ever. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Gabby and welcome to this week's episode of Confidence After Cancer. I want to think this week about the hidden struggle after cancer ends, something that so many people struggle with. And this is why I'm here for you, to really share what I've learned about the hidden struggles after cancer treatment ends, why it's so common and what you can do about it. I'm here to share my personal story, but also talk about some of my clients, obviously without breaking any confidences. Some of the struggles that you may have are more common than you think. If treatment ends, everybody thinks that you're fine, but inside, you might feel anything but. The truth is, the end of cancer treatment is often the beginning of a whole new set of challenges, and ones that aren't visible to the outside world. Thinking back to my personal story, when I finished my cancer treatment, and I was plunged unexpectedly into the world of cancer that I knew nothing about, from diagnosis, the shock of the diagnosis, from chemotherapy to surgery to mastectomy to radiotherapy, all of those things. I was really struggling to get through it, trying to be brave. Like everyone says, oh, you're so brave. You've got no choice when you're in that situation. And so at the end of that, what I actually got, it wasn't like you see in the movies sometimes when people ring a bell. It wasn't like that at all. I went for a scan and the surgeon actually said to me, there's no evidence of disease now. Part of me was elated because this was after my chemotherapy had finished. And I was like, oh, great. So I don't need to have a mastectomy then. And she said, no, you still need a mastectomy because you have inflammatory breast cancer and it's got a very high chance of recurrence. At the end of that conversation with her, when I should have been feeling great, there's no evidence of disease, I just fell apart. I had relief. Of course, I was relieved. And I was so grateful to the medics that have been in the UK. I mean, lucky to have the National Health Service. The nurses and doctors that looked after me were fantastic. My friends and family that rallied around me, they were fantastic as well. I couldn't wait to hear that confirmation from the doctor to say there's no evidence of disease. So yeah, first of all was relief, absolute relief. But then came the fear of, oh, what if it does come back? You know, nobody really knows. I hear of other cancer patients being diagnosed for a second or a third time. What if that happens to me? And then the next thing I thought, really, that I felt was exhaustion. I was absolutely wiped out and I wasn't ready for that. Everybody told me, my breast cancer nurse, she told me after treatment finishes, it will take you at least 12 months to get back to your levels that you had before diagnosis. And I was quite shocked by that. And I thought, no, she doesn't know me. I'm a very energetic person. It won't take me that long. But actually, it took me a lot longer. I was absolutely exhausted. The next thing was confusion because I thought, well, I'm supposed to be back to my old self, but I wasn't. So when my treatment ended, I thought I would feel nothing but relief, but instead I felt completely lost. Everyone around me was ready to move on, but I was still struggling with fatigue, brain fog, confusion, and a deep fear of the future. I didn't know who to talk to about it. And I want to really share with you 4 common struggles that I see women facing. You may feel any of these or none of them, but we're all different. We all react in different ways. And there's no right and there's no wrong. And sometimes I felt that I was being wrong because I wasn't acting the way that I thought I was going to act. But I'm going to talk about the common struggles and maybe you can relate to some of this. So the first common struggle is fatigue and energy, that invisible exhaustion that nobody sees. You may look fine on the outside, but inside you may feel like your battery never recharges. No matter how long I slept, no matter how much I rested, I never seemed to get my energy back. I was always so tired. And it was a horrible feeling because I am somebody who used to pride myself on the fact that I was a busy woman, I had a busy job, I had lots of friends and family, a great social life. I didn't have the energy for any of that. And it's so common. The second one that I see so often as well is low confidence and identity. And this really hit home for me. I just didn't feel like the old me. And everything felt daunting. My social life felt different. Sometimes even the mirror feels unfamiliar. That is a horrible feeling. And I know that so well. When you look in the mirror and you think, I just don't recognize this person staring back at me. After treatment, my face was really filled with steroids. It was all pumped up. And I remember talking to another cancer patient, and she said, I don't recognize this bald, fat alien that's looking back at me in the mirror. This woman who's got no features, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, no hair, this fat, bloated face with a really strange colour to my face. Everything felt so unfamiliar. And it feels sometimes so trivial to really focus on your appearance. But if you are somebody who it's your identity. So for me, I used to spend a lot of time and effort to look good. I like clothes, I like makeup. And I felt like all of those things have been taken away from me. The third emotion that you might feel, the third common struggle that I see so often is guilt. Feeling guilty for not bouncing back faster or not being your old self. Everybody else around you may be ready for you to be back, and you may feel guilty that you're not. And I certainly felt like this. I felt like my family and friends who've been so kind and tolerant and loving to me throughout my treatment, they wanted me to be back. And I felt guilty that I didn't feel good. Looking back now, I can see that I was actually clinically depressed after my treatment ended. But at the time, I didn't understand that. And I was struggling so much with my feelings. And I felt really lost, and it felt really difficult to articulate how I was feeling. And this, again, is part of why I do this podcast. Because if you're feeling any of these emotions, I want you to know you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. So guilt can be a thing as well. I got quite friendly with quite a few other cancer patients in support groups and online. Some of those people didn't do as well as me. Some of those people did get a second recurrence. Some of those people actually no longer with us. And I felt guilty for that. And there is a thing called survivor guilt where I'd look at them and think, well, why did they not make it? They wanted to live just as much as I did. They had every good reason to live. They've got friends and family who love them. They were good people. And so I've survived and they haven't. And that kind of messed with my head as well. The fourth thing I want to say is quite a common struggle, the fear of recurrence. That unspoken shadow, every ache and every twinge makes you wonder, is it back? Is it coming back? I still get little episodes of that sometimes, but it isn't less now, and I've got a lot of tools to deal with that. Fear of recurrence is so understandable because for some people, they do get evidence of recurrence. And so there is a lot you can do with that. And that's something that I work with my cancer clients to work with a plan for overcoming the fear of recurrence. If you're feeling any of these things, I want you to know you're not broken. These struggles are normal, they are common, and you are not alone. Friends and family assume that treatment equals recovery. They love you, they want you to be back to the person that you were, and sometimes they just don't understand. Even if they've been to every appointment with you and seen what you've gone through, they just don't understand what it feels like. In the UK, we are so lucky to have the National Health Service. It's amazing. The doctors and nurses that looked after me were just superb. But they're geared up to treat a cancer patient. And when you come to the end of your treatment, they move on to the next patient. They are very busy and not set up to deal with the emotional aftermath of what you've been through. They're just not there. They are very happy to discharge you because to them, their job is done. And the other reason that this phase is rarely talked about is a lot of survivors don't want to burden their loved ones. And I felt like this as well. My friends and family, my husband, my sons, I felt like they've been through enough. They didn't want to hear me complaining about how lonely I was or how depressed I felt. But this can create a silence. But it is in this silence that many women feel most alone. And that's why conversations and podcasts like this are so important. For you to realise you don't have to suffer in silence. You are not alone. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of my clients. When people work with me for their cancer recovery, I'm very privileged people share some very personal stories with me. I'm never going to break a confidence, but I just want to tell you this little thing that somebody told me. One of my clients told me that after treatment, she went back to work and found herself hiding and playing small in meetings. She used to be so confident. She was a leader at work, but now she felt invisible. She loved her job and she was really struggling to understand how she'd gone from this bright woman who was leading a team to this little, as she described it, little shrinking violet who was in the corner and really didn't want to speak up. When we worked on her coaching plan, we worked on small steps, one step at a time, building on this to rebuild her confidence. And a few months later, she led a big project. Not only did she lead it, she loved doing it. She flourished in that role. She loved her job. And her boss actually said to her, "You're back." That transformation is possible for every woman listening, whether it's to do with work or whether it's to do with something in it, whatever it is for you. There's no right and wrong, and it's not all about shining at work, but that is something a lot of people struggle with. The hidden struggles after cancer treatment are real, but they don't have to define you. With the right support, you can build and rebuild your confidence. You can protect your energy and you can thrive in this next chapter. This is another phase that you're going through. This is not the end of your story. This is a phase into the next chapter of your life. This is what I love to do with my clients, to help them make the next phase of their life the best. When you're focusing on everything you've lost, sometimes you can forget that, but it's so true. The next chapter of your life can absolutely be the best. I have coaching spots open right now. You can book a free clarity call with me today using the link in the show notes. You can also download my free guide, Thriving After Treatment. The link is there for that too. You don't have to do this alone. I'm here for you. And as always, thank you so much for listening. If this has helped you, please like and subscribe. And if you want to get in touch with me, ask me a question, tell me what you'd like me to talk about on my next episodes, please do so. I'd love to hear from you. You are not alone. I'm here for you. So as always, thanks for listening. Stay safe, stay sane, and we'll speak very soon. Thank you, my love.